we all get on. We're a family, really.
Welcome to Island Influencers, where we share stories of successful business owners, experienced professionals, entrepreneurs and community leaders based or with influence in the Isle of Man. This podcast is brought to you by Thornton Chartered Financial Planners, because great financial planning has the power to change your life. Now here's your host, Chartered Financial Planner Sharon Sutton.
Welcome to this week's episode of Island Influencers. I'm thrilled that my guest on this week's Island Influencers is none other than Manx icon, Conor Cummins. He of TT fame and more recently turned barista and entrepreneur, opening Conrod's and now a pizzeria at the Murrick Park, universally liked and admired, not just by the Ramsey Massive. I hope you enjoy hearing Conor's stories so far and how he's applied many lessons from professional motorbike racing to business. Thanks for listening. Welcome, Conor. Thank you so much for coming on Island Influencers. And it's not very often I come out of the office and go on location, as it were. So it's a gorgeous setting we have here on your your new pizza parlour, which is, if I couldn't think of a better use for Ramsey Lakeside Cafe at all. So congratulations on doing that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's awesome setting. And so, it was a cafe before. They did a great job as well, but I wanted to do something different. And I saw this come up for the building come up for expressions of interest, and I thought, well, I'll have a look at that.
Yeah.
It was more the pizzeria side was a bit of an afterthought, really. I thought, what am I if I'm successful, what am I going to put in it?
Yeah, no.
And then I like pizza. I thought, well, we're in the business anyway, so why not go for a pizzeria? So I did a lot of research, and here we are. We're sat in it.
A pivot into pizza, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, well, listen, I mean, to kick off our conversation, normally we go back in time, and it's, most people, you'd have to be living under a rock to have not heard of you, frankly, in the Isle of Man. But maybe you could just tell the listeners where you grew up and where you went to school and that sort of thing.
I was born in a Jane, if I've been completely accurate, and I've grown up. Grown up in Ramsey all my life, so I'm very, very proud to be from Ramsey, and went to school in the north as well, and probably annoyed a lot of teachers over the years with constantly going on about motorbikes, probably. But
it was in the blood, wasn't it, from your father?
Yeah. My dad still races today at 50-odd-year-old. And so I was born on 27th of May in 1986. So I was
34.
34, yeah. Born in TT week, so there's another excuse to love motorbikes.
Yes.
And my dad, he was racing at the time. And
how did you get into it? What age did you start riding bikes with engines?
I started riding motorbikes when I was 4.
Okay.
So it was a long time ago. And that was motocross. I started off with motocross, and I joke. I think that's where my sort of my business skills started to develop, because I managed to negotiate with my dad if I could ride my push bike without stabilisers, I could have a motocross bike. So immediately I learned to ride a push bike with no stabilisers, and lo and behold, a motocross bike landed that Christmas. So
good. But you do still ride a pushback bike a bit though, don't you?
Yeah, more
fitness based, really.
Purely fitness based, and I've actually more recently started to really enjoy cycling, whereas before it was more of I'm doing it to train and get fit. But I actually, because I enjoy it more, I actually feel like I'm getting fitter as a result. So I do like my cycling, and we've got involved with supporting local events on the cycling side. So
cyclists do love coffee.
Yeah, I found that just through with our Parliament Street coffee shop. So again, 2 wheels. I just love everything 2 wheels.
Yeah, but you're fast downhill as well.
Yeah, that's about the only thing I'm fast at on a push bike. On the flat, I'm not very fast, but
no, great. So you, if I remember, you got talent spotted early on a motorbike, and did you do an ACU program at some point?
Yeah.
Some academy, if I remember.
Yeah, the ACU Academy was formed way back when, and it was more you have to show interest in it, and we were accepted into the academy when I was, crikey, I can't even remember what age I was, to be honest, maybe 14.
Yeah.
And that was more, we saw it as, I say we, with me and my family, mum and dad and sister, we saw it as a way of progressing ourselves, or myself, in the sport, to give ourselves as best chance as possible, because I know it's not that far to the mainland, if I can call it that.
You can.
It's actually very difficult to make headway.
Yes.
And I think that's a general thing right across the board in sport. So obviously we're busting ourselves to get off the island just to do a club race, you know.
Yeah. It's expensive too, isn't it? When you
extremely expensive, and you know, it's mum and dad all the time, you know, hand in pocket and absolutely skinning themselves just to give me the best opportunity to further myself in what was at that time hoped to be a career.
Yeah.
And we had to give ourselves the best chance. So being in the ACU Academy was a nice stepping stone, really, if I can say that. And we went to seminars, and it wasn't all about the riding. There was fitness based activities, and it was quite educational. You know, nutrition, speaking to media. It was more sort of that side of things, really. That really helped us, and it put us in a little bit of a shop window to try and better myself as a rider and give me a bit of opportunity. But the opportunities, if I'm honest, didn't really come from that.
No.
It was more pitching up at the right race meetings and trying to do a good job, really.
You made quite an early decision to switch to road racing from short circuit, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I tried as best we could on the short circuits in the UK, but we soon realised it was more a case of, if you haven't got a huge wallet, it was hard to progress, certainly in the UK.
Yeah.
And, you know, our pot was only virtually non-existent, to be honest. It was more, we just did up the best we could with what we had. Yeah. You can hear the Garanda going on the background.
Can't we? Well, it's authentic, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. A bit of atmosphere. Yeah. But, yeah, it was more. I did 2 years of the R6 Cup, and we had a couple of podiums in that class. And the first year was where I had the podiums, and the second, I felt like the first year was quite successful after a couple of injuries. And the second year, we had a load of Aussies came over, and that's when the level went up. Massively. Okay. You had lads come over from Australia and was doing this full time. Yeah. Riding every day of the week in between races.
Gosh.
I was coming to a race meeting as fit as a fiddle. Yeah. Placing quite well, but I was coming back to the island on the overnight ferry and going straight to work at Lloyd's Bank the next day.
Oh gosh, yes, I've forgotten you worked at Lloyd's for a bit. Yeah.
So sure. It was more. It was a huge challenge, really, and we did quite well, you know. But beyond, I thought we'd done 2 years at that, and then the following year, which would have been 2006, I was hoping to do the National Superstock Championship on 1,000cc, and we totted up a bit of what we'd need as a budget, and it was just totally unrealistic. We couldn't afford to go racing, and if I'm honest, I actually went through a bit of a, I probably was a little bit depressed for a while, because I thought, that's it, I can't race bikes anymore, because it's all down to money, really, which is horrible, but it was a fact, and you can't argue with facts. And so that's when I sort of really thought...
How old would you have been about that time, that realisation?
19.
Yeah.
Fairly young at that stage to be really concerning myself and seeing massive figures, you know. Yeah,
and very tall, I remember. Yeah, from a young age, very tall.
Yeah, being tall, you know, it was all educational. And then that was a turning point. That's where I thought, well, I've got a bit of time. I had a bike sat there in the garage, which was doing nothing. And I thought, well, maybe it's time for a different challenge. And that's where I thought I need to go have a go at road racing. Yeah. Pure road racing. That was the turning point, really. went to the Northwest 200 as a 19-year-old on a Superstock 1000cc in the back of a Sprinter van that I managed to scrape a couple of quid together to buy myself. And me, my granddad, a friend of ours, Nigel Neal, and my dad did the best we could. And we were right up there, really, for a first go at road racing. Never done a road ever.
No.
And I was loving it. It was just I had a new lease of life. I loved it. And we placed quite well for as a newcomer. And then leading up to TT, a team called Team Racing from Northern Ireland, they offered to take me on.
Yeah, and you were best newcomer here, weren't you?
Best newcomer, fastest newcomer. Yeah, I'd only just turned 20 years old.
Yeah.
So that was a turning point in my career, and from that moment on, I've not really, I wouldn't say that used the word not look, I haven't looked back since.
Yeah.
It's just been I've really enjoyed my career in road racing, and I'm still enjoying it. So, and I've made a living out of it.
Yeah, indeed. And when did the idea to open a coffee shop come? Because that, you're still relatively young in race terms. You're 34. There's plenty of racers. Look at John McGuinness. How old is he?
Yeah, he's 50. I think he's just about turned 50. Is he?
Yeah, he's still at it.
He's still at it. Still fast. And he's not the only one knocking that sort of age who's also fast. So
well, you said your dad.
Yeah. He's enjoying
He's not
himself.
done 130 miles an hour average around the TT course, though, I guess. Have you still got the fastest man record? Because you were 133 at Northwest, weren't you, or something?
Ulster Grand Prix, I was 134, but the lap speeds have gone up again last year.
Okay.
But yeah, fastest makes around a TT course, and I think I'm fairly confident. Obviously, it remains to be seen what happens next year, but
yeah, of course.
I'm very, very confident we can go faster again than that and up it. And we need to.
Yeah.
Need to be challenging for wins. You've got to go faster. Simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, loving racing, loving running my businesses with a great team on both sides.
Yeah. So why coffee? What gave you the idea to go into to being a barista? So I remember you with your truck.
Yeah.
And every event, you were even going up to the likes of Canada Life International, weren't you? And you were doing agricultural shows, and that coffee would be cold by now.
No, sorry, it's still tastes good. So the coffee thing came around after I had my big crash in 2010.
Oh yeah.
And I was in
TT Closer to the Edge, from anybody who doesn't know that movie, which is terrifying. What happens next moment at the opening? It's
a bit pants what happens. But that was another point in my life where it was quite an eye opener. Really, you go from riding a bit of a crest of a wave and to zero.
Do you mind me asking what happened to the bike? Can you even say what happened?
The bike just
seemed to seize.
No, it was more there was high winds on that on the mountain, really.
Okay.
And that's what did the damage.
Right.
To be honest, it's because obviously veranda 4.
Yeah.
You're going around the side of a mountain, and you suddenly become exposed to high winds and whatnot, and the weather, and you'd be amazed at how much an effect it had. It can have on a motorbike. So that's what happened. The wind took a hold of me, and down I went.
It's like a rag doll.
Yeah. It was horrendous, but it's happened.
And you're here today.
And I'm here today
talking about it and still racing motorbikes.
Yeah, and it's that's where the whole coffee idea came from, really, because I'd never really drank coffee. We're talking instant coffee at that time.
Yes.
And I was all sort of, I was at best I'd drink the odd cup of tea, but then I was staying with some good friends whilst I was in rehab, and I basically started getting cups of coffee given to me on the odd day, and I just started to like it. It was nice. And then as I was in rehab, I'd go to do the hyperbaric chamber with Dave Downey there and his team. And after this session, I'd go and have a Costa. I think it was at the time. I'd go and have a Costa coffee in the street and just chill. And I started to get into liking coffee, and obviously, I started to go around Douglas and Ramsey and sample other establishments who were serving coffee, and I just sort of developed a bit of a liking to it. And then as fast forward a couple of 3 years, I think it was, I started doing my own bits of business things and trying different things, and I started to do a bit of research into how I could start my own mobile coffee business, really.
It's one thing to like coffee, but it's another thing to go up in competition against the likes of Costa, as a small independent coffee supplier. Yeah,
it was. I'd looked into it, and then I realised the investment you need to put into it. It was huge at the time, but I was looking in the wrong areas. I was looking in the wrong, what kit to be using, and I basically went back. I just went to basics and started small, and I went out racing to Australia, and the coffee culture out there is huge.
Right.
So the coffee idea, the business side of it was on the back burner until I went out to Australia, and then I thought, right, I've got to revisit this whole idea again, and came back, went to another bike show, got talking to some people who were doing a similar thing.
Yeah.
And
got a fire in your belly by then.
A bit of fire in my belly, and I thought this is definitely a goer, because I'd done my research prior to that.
Yes.
And it all just pieced together nicely, and I started doing events, and that's literally where Coffee Man kicked in.
Yeah, it was great.
And fast forward a few more years, Conrod's has appeared.
Yeah.
In the main street in Ramsey, and now we've got the pizzeria.
Who gave you the nickname Conrod?
That was actually David Knight.
Was it really?
Yeah. Who's actually out competing in the Andalusia rally championship in a minute. He's in Spain. So he's
gone from two wheels to four wheels.
No, it's rally bike.
Oh, I see. Right, okay.
So still two wheels. I've no doubt he could drive four wheels, no bother at all. But yeah, I was out in the States with him and a guy called Justin, who, we just had a great time out there when he was riding in the GNCC championship. That's where the name came from, and he started calling it. Next thing, nicknamed it, and got a logo.
It's a great brand.
Yeah. So it's down to I started getting called it. So
and then why to pizza? I mean, I said before, you've kind of pivoted into pizza. What gave you that idea? Was it just the fact this place became available, or was it already embryonic in your mind? You were going to do something else from coffee.
Yeah, it was more a case of the shop and the coffee shop in Parliament Street was going well.
Yes. Even during lockdown.
Yeah, we were massively. Everyone was massively challenged through lockdown, but we just dug deep and just tried to keep the wheels greased, really, and going. I mean, this place, the idea for this place came about way prior to lockdown. And I knew it was going to be a pizzeria, but the pizza thing came around because I like pizza.
Not too many if you're going to be a race weight on a motorbike.
No. I'm all I can say. I'm glad I've been training a wee bit recently because it was starting to get a bit out of control. But yeah, I wanted to do a pizzeria because I felt like there's not another pizza restaurant in Ramsey.
No, Domino's doesn't deliver this far.
No. And I thought, well, if I can have a proper restaurant licensed, which we are, obviously through the day we're a coffee shop, so I just teamed the two together. And,
it's a lovely concept.
Yeah, I think it's right. I stand to be corrected, but I think it works well, and so that's the foundation to the business of the pizzeria.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, and I primarily ask this from my sort of financial planning background, but what's your earliest memory of money?
I've certainly spent enough of it.
Yeah, it's easy to spend, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd say my rawest memory is going to be probably when I realised just how expensive racing bikes was.
Yeah, to a successful level, yeah.
Well, mainly like what my parents had to do, to afford to go and get on the ferry, even locally, just how much commitment it was to do that. And I think that was my first, so probably 12, 13 years of age. That's probably my earliest.
That's early to be that economically aware that, beyond something like, well, it's pocket money, but actually to know that the level of financial commitment, that's to be able to that's serious.
Fire the engine up, it requires money, and that money's got to come from somewhere. And it certainly wasn't me at that age. I think I had a paper round. I was getting paid $5 to deliver 200 papers or whatever. That's the way it was.
But you had a paper round.
Yeah, I had a paper round.
Lots of kids today don't do things like that.
Yeah, so that's probably my earliest memory. That was like when I thought this is quite a real world thing.
Yeah. No. Okay.
And I appreciated it.
Yeah.
And as I've grown older, I look back and thinking, how the hell did we do it?
Hard work.
Hard work from mum and dad. And don't get me wrong, we had a couple of people helping us out with, tyres and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I believe in the team thing.
Yeah.
And I've always had lovely people help me out, great people. Always.
Your pit crew at the TT have always fared really well, though. They've done a really fast pit change or whatever in relation to others who've come together last minute.
Yeah,
so.
But I think that's because we all get on. We're a family, really. My team they've always given that family sort of aspect to it, and it makes it easy to go and race, actually.
Yeah, good.
But I firmly believe in the team thing, and I always have done from an early age, actually. You can't do it all yourself.
No iron team, is there?
Nope.
No. So, of all the things you've done throughout your life so far, what's given you the most fulfilment, say from both a personal and a business perspective, or even sport in your case,
Yeah.
Which kind of is a business, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think achieving my first TT podium in 2009 in the Supersport race there was...
I think the rest of the Isle of Man are with you on that one.
Yeah.
The sense of local achievement, it was yay!
Oh, it was obviously I've not won a race around the TT course, but it felt pretty special. And that's probably one of the most proudest achievements of my career from a racing angle. Personally, my family that we've created.
There are two little girls now.
Two little girls, Connie and Emmy. My wife Danielle. Probably second to that is overcoming the horrendous injuries I've had in my big smash.
Yeah, they're well documented on your Wikipedia page if anybody wants to look them up, just saying.
Yeah. But that there in itself provided me the motivation to... It just made me think a little bit differently. And that's when my business side of me was started, really.
Yeah. Sounds like you're very determined.
Yeah.
For any existing then or aspiring business owner, entrepreneur, what would be your number one tip?
Do your homework, I think, would be the first thing I'd say.
Yeah.
Because I think you can definitely rush into a lot of things if you haven't put the thought into it.
Yeah.
There's a good chance it might fail.
Yeah. There's a saying around that, isn't there?
the three P's.
Yeah. Okay. What do you do to relax? How do you keep your life in balance when you're not rushing around on motorbikes, making pizza
racing motorbikes? That's how I relax.
Making coffee.
Yeah, it's I'd say I go racing motorbikes.
Yeah.
That's how I not relax, but that's my personal space, and I just love doing it.
Don't find it stressful at all. It's just
no. I just love racing bikes. Don't know what it is.
No, I don't know what it is either. What does it feel like going once you've left the start line of the grandstand and you just hurtle down Bray Hill?
Yeah.
Are you thinking anything at that point?
Where's my next apex what am I aiming for?
That's the right thing to think, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You don't close your eyes, though, I don't know.
No, definitely not. I'm looking for a lamppost or a hedge or a pavement or a grid, just something to aim for. Bang on line.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to ask you that, by the way. So tell me, what do you think are the best things about living on the Isle of Man?
I think we have got a lot of good things. I think we've got a lot of freedom.
Especially at the minute, comparison to the rest of the world.
Yeah. There's a huge support local. Is it ethos? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Support local, and that pretty much covers it for how the Isle of Man is.
It's a great community, isn't it?
It's a huge community.
Yeah, you were at the Food and Drink Festival, weren't you?
Yeah.
Featuring in the video I saw that they posted on
right.
Food and... Have you seen it?
I don't think I have. No.
It's a really good video, and you feature in that. It does very much bring home the sort of breadth and diversity of and quality of local produce and producers that we have supplying things, and it's a domain of the small independents, isn't it? It's,
absolutely.
It's like the Robinsons against it's not against, but competing against the Tesco's, and it's the Conrods are competing against the Costas. It's like that, isn't it?
And we've only got a business if we've got customers.
Absolutely.
Really, and there's a lot of goodwill, and we were very well supported through our, the island the world is going through at the minute with COVID-19, and we're massively challenged, but we had a real hardcore of customers who really wanted to help us.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we had a few negatives as well, but we worked through all that, and we're just so well supported. And there's big thanks to our customers that we are still here. Yeah, really, and our staff, our team. It's a huge team effort, and we really appreciate everyone who helped us out. And so it's our duty to make sure that we give a good quality product back. It's good. We had pizza in here last weekend. It's very good. My son was a big thumbs up for that. So, what would you say are the main challenges then that the Isle of Man faces? We're facing challenges obviously through COVID, and But generally speaking, as a small island community, what would be your main challenges that you would see to us succeeding as a nation, or I don't know, even as a small business owner? Well, I think we need make sure obviously everyone is healthy. That's the first port of call, and we steer our way through this global situation at the minute. I think, and I've got to say that we are doing a phenomenal job as an island,
aren't we?
I really cannot stress how grateful we are for the support the government have given the whole of the Isle of Man. I think they've been absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
even cancelling the TT.
yeah. But the reason why that was cancelled is to try and help protect everyone, really. Yeah. That's the way I see it. But they've been phenomenal. But that said, I do think the island has seen. I think the island suffered without having the TT. It sounds like a really selfish thing to say, actually, but I think the economy really does benefit from having the TT. Yeah. And classic TT and the other big sporting events that the Isle of Man hosts. But everyone needs to be healthy. That's first and foremost. Yeah. Okay. That's the way I see it. But in terms of challenges, I don't really know, to be honest.
No, that's okay. I mean, there's a big drive, isn't there, to try and get more residents here, and I always smile when I see houses for sale going up on the TT course. You think, you probably know the tons of fans who would give their right arm probably to come and buy a house and live on the Isle of Man, but they wouldn't be able to ride their bike then, would they?
No. I mean, there's people I'm talking to from I've got friends in the UK who'd love to be on the Isle of Man. Yeah. I think the biggest challenge really we've got, I suppose, is it's definitely protecting what we actually have here already.
Yeah, sure.
And everyone's well-being comes first.
No, good. Well, So what would you do if you were, say, in charge? Would you can you see any sort of opportunities for the island? Even from your sector. That we were talking earlier about the demise of potential demise of Edinburgh Woolen Mills today. As we're recording this, just as it's been announced that the owners of Timble Mills are going into liquidation.
I mean, firstly, I hope whoever is in charge or who owns it is okay.
Yeah.
I suppose, because I've seen other businesses that have had to close the doors,
Sure.
which is horrible to see. Putting a positive on it, it might provide an opportunity for someone else to open up shop.
Yeah.
In the place. There's opportunities, I think, but I think from my sector, I think all the local businesses have got it pretty dialed, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we're all doing well, and as I said before, there was a real support local push, even before lockdown, to be honest. But since certainly we opened, we were so well supported. Maybe it's an eye opener for hopefully for people to support more of the local businesses.
Yeah, maybe. You could be right.
But obviously, I'm not kicking the existing business who might be there that they are supporting. But
No, of course not. All right. Well, so Conor, I mean, what have you got planned next? I mean, it's difficult to forecast. Well, you can't really see what's going to happen into the future, but motorcycle racing.
Yeah.
You do have not racing, but you do have some testing to do. I understand.
Well, no, I've got a test on Tuesday. I head over to Cadwell Park.
Right.
We've got a brand new Fireblade, which I've not physically seen.
Okay.
So we're going to go test it on Tuesday at Cadwell, and then we are going to Brands Hatch on the weekend.
Gosh.
The following, not this weekend, but the following weekend to race the final round of the National Superstock Championship.
Oh gosh. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, cheers. So I'll actually get some racing done this year, although I've been doing a bit of motocross locally.
Yeah.
Just to keep my hand in.
Yes.
And some cycling.
Up and down hills. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that's the plan.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got to wait and see what the plan is for next year, because we don't know.
No, of course. And for this place,
pizzeria, we've actually got a few events lined up.
Great.
So we've got pizza and prosecco night, which is our second one on the Saturday 25th, I think it is. I should know this. It's ridiculous.
It's in the middle of half term, brilliantly timed.
Yeah, exactly. We ran the first one there in September. It was very successful, and It was a great vibe about it. That's what we want in here.
Yeah.
You can see all the bright colours on the wall, and this isn't finished. The building isn't finished just yet. We've got new windows going in here, and
right. More plug sockets going in as well, apparently.
More plug sockets, yeah, because there's a distinct shortage.
Yes, we have the one here.
Yeah, it's at a premium. But no, that's all because of what happened. We had to get the doors open and trading just to get some, just to pay wages basically. And,
it's good. It looks great. You wouldn't know if you came in, because it's a great improvement on what it was before. So and it's full of life, which it wasn't. This place hasn't been supported for years. So.
No. So, I mean, the big selling point for me is that, like, aside from the quality pizza and etc. and coffee that we do here,
it's a beautiful venue. It really is.
Yeah. So it's a lovely place for locals to come and chill out, and we're trying our best to create that sort of environment that they can come and do that. So the next bit's to do the outside, our seating area outside. So
with heaters.
With heaters,
heaters and rugs.
Yeah. So. Yeah, there's big plans in place for the pizzeria, and they'll be announcing.
Well, good luck. I mean, you definitely deserve to succeed, Conor.
Thanks a lot.
Good on you. Yeah. So, books. Any books you want to recommend to people? Do you got any? What do you read? Do you read blogs? Do you read? Listen to podcasts. What's your?
Well, books. It's not even. It's a magazine. Bike magazine.
Of course it is.
That's about as far as it goes for me. But podcasts, I actually listen to Joe Rogan.
All right.
Or watch his podcast. He's obviously gone over to Spotify, I think, from YouTube. So
right.
It's just some really interesting sort of views on a lot of things, and I just find it interesting. So I'd watch that. That's pretty much it. Sounds a bit boring.
No, not at all. You've got a pretty full life of running three well, 3 businesses if you count road racing as a business.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
pizza and coffee shops. So.
Yeah, coffee
and
man's
two
all
small
busy.
children. So
Yeah.
just yeah.
It's all of it. It's all
full on.
Flat out.
Not much spare time there.
No.
Do you have a favourite quote that you would, or sort of saying that you live by?
Not really. No, I don't really live by anything, to be honest. There's been a few which I can't even. There's obviously a couple of Winston Churchill ones, and but I don't live by them. I'm very much I just like to get up in the morning. I've got a few things that I need to dial in and get sorted, and I just try and work as hard as I can. But it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not. I've got a brilliant team of people around me, and I've just, without them, it's not happening at the end of the day.
Yeah, but somebody has to be the leader, and that they want to work hard for. So.
Well, yeah. So
you must be doing something right, Conor.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I try.
Yeah. So other than that, where can people go to find all about you online? You've got a LinkedIn page. I know you've got Twitter that you posted last in 2018. Just saying.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been a bit redundant recently.
You got somebody working on a website, have you, for the Boathouse and for Conrod's coffee shops? So this is called the Boathouse. Conrod's.
It's Conrod's Pizzeria, but the alias we use for both. So Palmer Street in here is Conrod's.
Right.
IOM.
Right.
So that's for the Conrod's brand I suppose. And then we have, and there's a website for both of them just being developed right now. It's going to be conrods.im.
Yeah.
Then we have the Coffee Man, which is all the W's, coffee-man, @n.com.
Yep.
And I've got Facebook page for
the
racing and
stuff
stuff.
too. Yeah.
And we're all on Instagram and Facebook. So we're just And any event that we've got coming up, or a new coffee machine or new coffee beans that we're getting out there.
Yeah, that takes a lot of effort to do all that marketing too.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I do all the social media side for myself, and that's all come through knowing and learning through what I've done through racing bikes.
Yeah.
A lot of pretty much everything I've learned and put into my businesses has always been through bike racing.
Yeah, that's great. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today, Conor. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Hope it's been of interest.
Oh, it absolutely has. Yeah, it's fascinating. A real inspiration and a real island influencer. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Island Influencers from Thornton Chartered Financial Planners. To find out more and for useful links, visit thorntonfs.com/podcasts.